Welcome to S&S Contracting. This is S&S. We are cooking with S&S again today. We are going to be making homemade tortilla chips. What you get is the small round corn tortillas, and you pull out a handful of them, and then you cut them in half. Yeah, it's not quite half, but whatever. You turn around, you can cut it in half again, and that's usually about the right size for them. You could also do like strips, like they use on like your salads and stuff. All you have to do is kind of take and just cut them into strips. But that's not what I'm going with today. And after you cut them, you should already have your oil going and all that. I didn't have it going already, but you get that up to about 350 and hold them there, 350, 360, and you cook them until they should. And as you drop them in, you kind of just separate them. You just do a handful. You do like a handful at a time. You just make sure you separate each one and drop them in, kind of like. Here, let's do this the other way. Yeah, you just kind of separate each one, drop them into the pan and they'll sit there and you'll see your oil kind of bubble and whatnot while they're cooking, and the oil will slow down, it's bubbling once they get close to being done, and most times they start to float up to the top once they're done. Yeah, let's do that again. So you take it and you just kind of separate them like so, or you just do each piece kind of like that into your oil. And you want to put it in different spots. You don't want to drop them all in the same spot. But that'd be how I'll do that. And I'll try to demonstrate it once I get the oil going. And then there's many, depending on what you want to do with them, many different ways you can do it. But find like a metal pan or a metal bowl. It works best that way when they're hot. And a lot of people say you take and put them on a paper towel and kind of clean out the oil, which yeah, I guess you could, but if you want your seasoning to stick well, I usually use a big mixing bowl, metal, or like a 9x13 pan or something. Then you can season it as they come out. You season each time you pull them out. So you pull out your first batch of them all, and then you'll season. Pull out the first batch, and let's just say you add the chips in here, and you take your seasoning and you can season it. Like you could use barbecue rub if you wanted to, or you could use garlic salt, just plain salt, or whatever kind of flavoring you want. But it needs to be a little, it can't be like big chunks of seasoning, but you get the gist. Alright, we'll be back soon. Okay, we're back and the oil's pretty much up to temperature, so we're going to do this. Alright, so as I was saying earlier, you take it and you just drop them in there a few at a time, one at a time, split them apart. You might be able to do a couple at a time, but make sure they're split apart. Like so. This pan isn't big enough to really do that many at a time, so I'm going to get, you can do more than this, but it just makes it easier and longer if you just do a couple handful. So there's probably about 8 pieces in there right now. You can do more, and it's easier, again, like with one of the last videos that I've done, and if you stir it a little bit too, sometimes it helps. But I don't have my spoon that I usually use, so I'm using tongs again. So it's going to make it a little bit harder to get them out, but it'll work. And as you can see, it's starting to, how it's bubbling and everything. All right, now I'm going to try to flip them over. It helps it also. It looks like I probably need to clean my lens. Sorry about that, y'all. I guess they already start to float. It's been a while since I made them, so I misspoke earlier. So you just kind of have to check them as you go. My temperature isn't quite up to spec yet, but yesterday everything got super hot all of a sudden, so it took forever to get there, and then all of a sudden it got too hot, so I'm trying to do it a little bit before it gets to the temperature, before it goes outrageous. And you can kind of look at the color too. It'd probably be better if I turned on the light so I could see better, but not quite yet. And then you just kind of pull out, try to get some of the grease off. Like I said, it's easier with the spoon because you can grab a few at a time. It makes it a lot easier. Okay, and as you can see, I maybe got them a little bit overdone, but that's fine. And then, like I said, take whatever seasoning you want. I'm going to use a barbecue flavor today, I think. And you just kind of lightly sprinkle it up. No, that isn't lightly. Yeah, whatever. And then you start your next batch up. Okay, I'm doing a few more than I did last time. We'll see how it comes out. I'm going to take and I'm going to stir them up so they're not sticking to each other. Hopefully. Yeah, I think I got too many in there this time, but life will go on. And that's kind of what I mean by that. Does heavy boil is bubbling more than that earlier, but that's what I meant by the bubbles, and it slows it down quite a bit when they get done, or when they're close to being done. So the reason I said to use a bowl, it makes it easier when you salt them or put your seasoning in there, you can kind of toss it instead of them all just being flat. And it kind of gets all over the whole chip instead of just one side of the chip. This isn't making sense while my oil temperature's going way down now. But it is what it is. You just kind of have to adjust as you go sometimes. It's nice when you have a regular fryer, one that you can set a temperature on to keep your oil at about the same temperature as it's supposed to be, or that you want it to be. And sometimes if you pull it a little bit right before they get done, before they're all the way hard, it's better because they don't get too hard while they sit also, after you pull it out. And I'd recommend getting a pair of tongs if you're going to do the tongs that don't have such a spring on them as these ones do. It's hard to hold the spring shut with them. And like I said, do either your salt or your seasoning, whatever you want to do. And that's how you make homemade tortilla chips.